Today we will talk about yet another chapter, that is the fun they had. Now here, this particular chapter or lesson is written by Isaac Ishimo. Who was Isaac Ishimo? He was an American writer, and now in this particular chapter, as you can see here, that what he has written or he has talked about the future technology or in a present time, how the things are happening or how do the things happen regarding uh, with the aspect of teaching or aspect of the schools. Yeah, we see that technology in recent times, we had seen how the technology has affected in past 2 years, that as the world was hit by the COVID pandemic, so during that time, everybody how they started adapting to the new ways of technology or the use of technology. How the things will start affecting our lives in future. So here in this chapter, the fun they had. Now the writer is trying to talk about the aspect or here the writer Isaac Ishimo, he is talking about the time period where we see the character in this chapter, Margie and Tommy. Here this girl where she is writing a diary, and now when she is writing a diary about that aspect, so what she has written, she has mentioned the time period or the year 17 May 2157. This is the year in future that she is writing her diary on. On this particular date, she is writing a diary. Now, in this chapter, as we see, or as I'm talking about how today's school life and how it will be in the future, that you can imagine. So, how the things will be in the future. Now, let us talk about the present scenario in general, in small, in few words. That in the present day, we have schools, a particular building where students come, they gather, they sit in different classes, where human teacher comes, they teach them different subjects. Yeah, where students come, they talk, mingle with their friends, they have an interaction with the teachers, and they go out and play. But how the things will be in future? Where in a future, in general scenario, if you see the future schools, right? So how it will be? Or as you can see here, in my hand, I have a hard copy of a textbook, right? So how it will? So how the future schools will be? Right? So you can see on here on the screen that there will be computers, there will be e-texts. It means everything will be dominated by the computers. Right? The school life, all the use of technology as it has started now. Then there will be e-text, means a document that is read in a digital format. Then the virtual classrooms, where in recent times we two people have seen that how we are connected. So we are connected with the various different technical mediums to attend the classes. So in the future you would see that virtual classrooms where students will be joining online through the help of net or internet, as you can see. And then there will be a robotic teachers. Now see here what aspect the writer is trying to talk about in this chapter, the fun they had, that in the future there is a chance or there may be a chance that in place of an actual human being, right? So who would be there? So who would be teaching? So in place of an actual human being, there would be a robotic teachers. There will be robots and they would be expert into their things what they are talking and teaching. So they will be there for teaching in the future. So this is a general scenario that we can see, which will be there for times to come. So here in this chapter, initially when we begin this particular chapter, the fun they had. Now we do not know who the writer or who are they. The writer is talking about the fun they had. Who, according to the writer or whom the writer is addressing, we do not know it. But we see that about whom he is talking about. Here the character Margie, there is a Tommy. So who they are? So they are neighbors. And the whole text that or the text that we are studying, So here we see that there is a discussion that goes between the Margie and Tommy, and there are some other characters that we see, that we will see, or the character that comes through the lesson. Here, when we start the chapter, there we see that the reference of the diary, where the time frame, that is 17th of May 2157, is mentioned. So let us see what kind of fun and who had that fun in this particular chapter. Please remember that the ancient time and the future time. So how things were in ancient period, and ancient means the old period, जो पुराना समय है, right? And जो नया समय आने वाला है. So about that aspect, this writer has taken this clue, right? So here in general scenario, you see, according to each and every person, somebody enjoys the school life. Most of us, right? Or there are some who do not like that aspect of school. They are interested in something else. So here, let us see what kind of school the writer is talking about in future, and what he is trying to tell us in the year, or what will happen in coming years, in the year 2057, that the writer is trying to talk in this chapter, the fun they had. Let us discuss this. Margie even wrote about it that night in her diary. So what did she do? So she's writing a diary, a document, right? Where we write the things about our day-to-day happenings, where we mention that particular diary. So Margie wrote about it that night in her diary on the page hidden. Now she's turning the page, right? What is the page? And to on to the next page, what did she start? How did she start writing? She started writing the date 17th of May 2157. Now, so who is writing here the diary? It is a girl called Margie, and she is writing that diary. And what did she mention into her diary? She started, or she headed towards the date, and what date she has mentioned? 17th of May 2157. Margie even wrote about it that night in her diary on the page headed 17th of May 2157. She wrote, "Today, Tommy found a real book." Now, the text that I am having in my hand, I would call it as a real book. Now, what she is telling, what does it mean by the real book? See here, the word real. Yeah. So what she's trying to say by the word real? She means the book, the hard copy that I have in my hand. Today, Tommy found a real book. Who is that one? It is Tommy, that he has found out that real book. It was a very old book. Now, see the time period, 2157, so many years. Now, in that time period, what did the Tommy find out? Tommy found out an old book, a very old book. Marge's grandfather once said that when he was a little boy, his grandfather told him. Now, who is the next character that we are seeing? The character of Marge's grandfather. Marge's grandfather that we are seeing here. And what aspect he is talking about? He is talking about when he was a little boy, his grandfather. Now, Marge's grandfather, and when he was old, his grandfather told him that there was a time when all stories were printed on paper. Nowadays, now you can see in my hand. So this is a textbook, and you can see that there is a